is that sunny out, we've got the cool dude shades on. But we're figuring it's going to be quite windy up at the top of the tour, which is where we're planning on going next. So cool dude shades it is for the time being. Well, up there on that there hill is the tour, which in about 2 hours, because we're not going quickly, we will be at. I think we've just met what you can loosely call a local character who's told us it's easier to go up this way via 200 steps and then come down the other way, and apparently then we can cut across a field and get straight in to the town centre. Time will tell. So here we go. That's where we're going. Oops. National Trust, of course. That looks quite a reasonable path, to be fair. We'll have a go at that. There's it. Welcome to historic Glastonbury Tor, an iconic monument and place of huge spiritual importance in the heart of Somerset, offering magnificent views as well, over the Somerset levels, Dorset, Wiltshire and even Wales. Glastonbury Tor is the perfect place for a walk, more like a hike. Discover the history of the tour itself, walk around the base of the tour to various orchards around the site, or take a moment to pause and reflect in our community blossom circle. Glad we did it. Put a lift in. Well, if the dead cat fixes this, I'll be well impressed. It's a bit breezy up here, but we're glad we made the journey. It's not mega crowded here, but there are plenty of people. We've taken some photos inside. Whether they make it to the video or not, I'm not entirely sure. Now let's go and explore the town centre. Thank you. Where are you going? Back down there. Well, to be fair, that was a very nice stroll, worth doing. Sorry about the sunlight coming through the trees there, but it's a glorious day. We're now going to go back to the van, make use of our facilities. I hear rumours that there might be a bacon butty and a brew, and then we're going to go and explore the town proper. Oh, yeah, I can recommend it. Definitely worth a hike. We've survived. Bacon butty had, a cup of coffee had. We're into Glastonbury and we've come across this, which I'll circle round. A lovely piece of work. No idea how long it took, but it's better than I can do. This is the second of these we've come across. It's a community larder, and it would appear that somebody set up this fantastic idea that when shops have things left over and are nearing the end of date, they can put them in here for people to take free of charge. And I think that's a fantastic idea. Now, to be fair, we had a loaf of a French stick yesterday that served us yesterday and today, and I think it's a damn sight better than just throwing it away. So well done whoever's organising it. You get marks out of 10 for me. It's a guy doing a wonderful piece of chalk art on the pavement. Do you remember who you were before the world told you what you should be? Daniel Laporte. It's a place of little nooks and crannies. Tidal shops. It's very, very eclectic, very, very spiritual, and very lovely. I mean, we could spend days here. There's a very nice piece of work here. They're very big on murals here. There is an official mural trail, but there just generally seems about anyhow. Spin you around this way. The Goddess Temple. Stuart's lovely and bright. We've arrived at a most beautiful shop. called Star Child, and the ladies very kindly said we can video in here, and would rather we didn't get the customers in shop, which is perfectly fine. So I'm going to go with this absolutely awesome display here. Just about everything we'd ever possibly want, and probably more. And then it goes on and on. And there's some really good caricatures and things up here which I'll get stills of for you. But look at that, this has got everything you could ever want. What a truly beautiful place. Oh, dragon's blood resin. Spruce resin, loads of stuff in here. Beautiful selection of candles as well. Just had to take a brief pause there as people are doing what you should do in shops. But I love all these drawers as well. Lovely little city down space. It's a little courtyard thing called the Gauntlet. Loads of little shops.
We like lime regions. Well, mainly because one of our big shops is there that we supply to.
Found the wood wizard. Oh, what's it?
And why on earth not? We have arrived at Ladram Bay. It's bloody huge. However, the pitches are lovely. They're level, they're gravel, water points to each one, electric to each one. Been to check the facilities. They are lovely. And we're now going to walk down to the what we hope is a beach. It says it's got its own beach, to see if it's any good to photograph stars at night, because currently there is not a sky in the clouds and all such like. You know what I mean. Well, we've just been robbed at the 2p Falls, as we normally are, but found a nice family to give the tokens to. And this is the view we've got from the balcony. And we're hoping, if the sky stays this clear, we'll be down later tonight and see if we can photograph some stars. Mic check. Mic check too. It does say on all the advertising things they have their private beach. It's a bit pebbly, but to be fair, I don't know what it's like when the sea goes out, but it's definitely a private beach. And we figure it's called Three Rocks because there's one over there in the middle, the one closest to us there, and the other one is just there. It's the brown we can see sticking over the top. There's even benches here, so we'll come down later on and see if we can get some pickies. Do not adjust your sets, folks. It is dark. It's just after 10 o'clock and we're going to see if we can get some pictures of stars. Not going to get the Milky Way, it's below the horizon at this time of year, but it's a really clear night. And there's a lovely spot we can just look out across the bay, as we saw earlier on. And we're going to see if we can find something and hunt down the waste disposal or rubbish disposal on our travels. We came past earlier on in daylight, of course, and had a look at prices and such like. But I think this is really quite pretty. Overall, they've done a fantastic job here. It is a really, really well cared for place. It just looks like somebody can be bothered. Well, we can see the stars really quite clearly, but the camera's not picking it up and the video certainly isn't. I mean, up there we can see Orion up there. Probably doesn't show up on the video. But there's the site by night. And they've done a really good job keeping the lighting low, to be fair. Anyhow, it's stupid o'clock at night. We're going to be up in the morning. Let's go home, get in the warm. Good morning, and what a glorious morning it is. We are at Ladram Bay Holiday Park. Very unusual for us to go anywhere with lots of people. This place is huge, but as we might have mentioned earlier, bloody amazing. So we're just outside Otterton apparently. We're going to go, and where are we going? We're going somewhere to go and look at harbour. This is the first time I've been on a site where I come back and think I could actually just stop here and do nothing. But we're going to go out and have a look at local harbour, maybe to stay here tonight. Star photography was less than impressive. Tell you what, live and learn. Anyhow, onwards, catch you later. We've arrived at Lympstone. Hopefully going to go and have a wander down to the harbour. It's a very picturesque place. And we've parked up at the little Underhill, I think it's called, Underhill car park, something like that. And Sal's just sorted out an order. Someone had delivered the wrong stuff to us recently, trying to get the right stuff. And there's no real kind of clue about where to go from here. There's a lovely bridge over there somewhere, which I know you can't see, over there somewhere, which I know you can't see, but we'll have a look at that. But yeah, it seems like a nice little place. Time for a rant, of course. Wouldn't be me without a rant, would it? Here we go, get ready. Now, I appreciate these places need to make their money in the tourist season, I get that. But we've just managed to park for £2 all day, although it says until midnight up there. There's a little bit of a sign down there, finger point, that says motorhome's going to start until 2200, which I don't mind. We're not going to stay here tonight. So that's not bad, £2 for all day basically. Unless of course you want to come in summer when it's £8.80. Now if that's not ripping folk off, I really don't know what is. I mean, I know you need to make your money, I know you're a council, all the rest of that stuff, but come on, really? We just had to ask a very nice lady where the harbour was, and she said, oh, it's just past the Swan pub. And we turned out and there it is. Just past the Swan pub.
They're unusual. Unusual stuff like that here.
Well, here we go then. I'm going to try and stop you from getting dizzy, but there's a tower over to the left there with a nice clock on it. We'll investigate that shortly. Guy jet washing his boat over there. Very nice little trimaran in the middle of the water over there. It's a fair old estuary. And I love this tree that's over here, coming to shot any second now. How beautiful is that against the sandstone? The clock tower, erected in 1885 by W.H. Peters Esquire of Harefield in memory of his beloved wife Mary Jane, to commemorate her kindness and sympathy to the poor of Lympstone. It's a fair old thing.
The clock goes 12 at midnight. Dong, 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 dong. It's lovely. Place, isn't it? Oh, absolutely lovely.
That is a fair old tower. A little local knowledge goes a long way. One of the locals just said to us, have you seen the cobbled lane? And promptly sent us in this direction. I bet Amazon love this place. How quaint is this? It's gorgeous, isn't it? Oh, bit of concrete. Oof. I love this one place called The Cottage. I wonder how many The Cottages there are in the country. Here we come, down to the end. Oh yes, that's a very nice view. There's the boat shelter over there. In between the branches there, warning, the water from this well must not be used for drinking unless boiled, and there be the well. Looks a bit neglected now, but dare say at some point really important part of the village. We've managed to find ourselves a space at Budley Salterton, which is famous for a 2-mile long pebble beach. And I tell you what, they're not kidding. It's a beautiful place. There's a nice little boat there, someone's done time on. There's a nice septic tank wagon going behind us. It's a lovely bay. Managed to snag ourselves a spot right on the front for a couple of hours. Let's go look. I'm just noticing what a really strange noise. They kind of squeak when you walk on them. It's a bit windy, you probably don't hear that. Hopefully the dead cat's doing a job. They kind of squeak, it's really weird. Anyhow, we're going to walk up to the headland, get a photo there. It's hard walking on the pebbles, so I'm going to go back onto the grass and go like that. Wouldn't be one of my videos without talking about toilets, just the way I make Phil. And it looks like they spent a few quid on toilets here. But talk about spending a few quid, you can't. And because it's tappy card only. You can't actually pay. It's got to be a tappy card, which if you don't have a tappy card is a pain in the rear end. Well, good morning everybody. I think it's Tuesday. Yeah, it's Tuesday. 1st of April, pinch punch and all that palaver. It's suboptimal, as Sal described it this morning. It's a bit windy out there. Cloudy at the moment with breaks coming through the clouds. Yeah, kind of. We're going off today. We've got several things on the list, depends on what happens. Allegedly there's a place here to see bluebells. We are significantly further south than home. We're going to have a look, see if we can find bluebells. If not, we have a couple of other places to visit on the route. So unusually for us, we've got 3 2-night stays booked on assorted campsites, and therefore we kind of going to go from base and kind of hop each side of each of those stays. To be fair, I'm quite enjoying it. And I mean, we've been gifted here, this place, Ladram Bay. I mean, never been on a site like this. We've been on some good sites, but this one is pretty special. It's got everything you could want. The hum in the background, by the way, nothing bad's happening. I've got the heating on, so when Sal gets back from a shower, it's lovely and warm, and the kettle on for another brew before we pack up and make haste and such like. Let's see where today takes us, but it'll be interesting no matter what. Blackberry Camp, English heritage site, a hill fort, used intermittently for 3 or 4 centuries. Yeah. It's actually a really lovely place. Strange, I've never seen one of those before in a place like this. No 4x4s in the bottom right hand corner. But what a glorious day. It was very windy down at the coast, but we're not at the coast anymore. We're here at Blackberry Camp, and we're going to go and have an explore. Hopefully we might see some bluebells. It is famous for being carpeted, but to be fair, 1st of April may be a little bit early. a little bit of research on Tinterweb by the good lady reveals that at certain evenings of the week, at certain times, this is, shall we say, a site for adult entertainment purposes. This will have been one hell of an undertaking. It's, I mean, granted the ramparts, I suppose, if you're inside, I don't know, about 7-8 foot tall, but they were made from what they dug out the ditch, the other side of it. But it's a good few hundred metres across. I mean, even with modern equipment, that would be a fair old thing. But this was done several hundred, if not thousands, years ago. That's one hell of a communal effort. You don't just like knock one of these up in the afternoon, do you? Well, the good strong shadow should tell you it's nice, sunny. Says he, nearly falling over. Now, I'm no geologist by a very long stretch, but all of a sudden I come across loads of flint. I mean, loads and loads of flint. Quite a lot of it looks like it's been napped or broken in some way. There's a whole load of it here. In fact, let's see if I can pick a piece up without killing myself. I'll go this bit down here. I'm pretty prepared to bet. Oops, sorry, beetle. Let's see if I can get into slightly better light for you. That's just a fair old lump. I mean, you know, I'm not exactly the smallest person on the planet, but it's certainly not got a sharp edge on it. Though it, you know, it looks like somebody's had a go. It's all over the place. I see no ships, only hardships. Portland Bill, very nearly made an expensive mistake. Well, it was an expensive mistake, but it could have been more expensive. You pay to park here the extortionate rate of £5.30 for up to 2 hours, and it's a ticketless system. So I typed in our registration, and there's this display that kind of didn't make any sense. The bits were missing. Do you want a receipt? So I pressed the green tick button, which I guess meant yes, and it's just as well I did, because I mistyped our registration and ended up sticking a V instead of a Y. So had I not spotted that, I dare say it would have been done for some exorbitant amount, because they don't seem to understand that people sometimes make mistakes. So there you go. Anyhow, Bacon Butty's on the way. We're at Portland Bill. It's blowing a hoolie, which is I'm hiding around the back of the van right now. So there may not be audio on this, unless I perhaps voice it later on. But just to prove we are at Portland Bill, I'll turn us round. As promised, there is Portland Bill. If I step round the corner, you'll get what I mean about the wind. It is positively hoolified. Still, it's got blue sky and fluffy clouds. The Steadicam's trying to keep it steady, but it's very, very windy. Let's see what we can do. There we go. Even I've been blown around here. Let's bring that back down. Alright, that's well breezy. Alright, let's go and have a look. See how much the tours are. Approximately tours today, please ask. Oh, okay. Let's go and have a look in here then. Let's see what it comes to. Whew. How much? Visitors only. Adults £9. Fair enough. Well, this is a fine example of places pricing themselves out, because I'd have quite happily gone on the Lighthouse tour. I'd have spent my £9 and sales £9. But yeah, car park time means I'd have had to pay £10.40 to park here, because I've just missed one tour, and that's it. So well done. You've got my £5.30 out of me. Congratulations. And missed out £18. Brilliant. Well done. Oh, and on the same subject, Lime Regis, waste of space there, mate. Your parking charges are so extortionate. We just didn't even stop. Look, we're on holiday. We'll spend money, but not on bloody car parking. Sod ya. We'll go somewhere else. We are at East Fleet Farm Holiday Park. Should have mentioned that earlier. And they've got a little museum here, or museum of things they've collected over the years. Bit of sun flare there. Still windy, but the pitch is lovely, and say the facilities are awesome. They've got all these bits they've collected over the years. I've been tempted by some beer and cider from their shop. But it's a lovely pitch, and say everything's really well looked after, and the staff are fabulously friendly. Time for Steve's tour of the facilities. Very nice they are too. I have once more checked, there's nobody in here. I'm not going to get accused of anything. But I've had a look, they all appear to be pretty much the same. We've got a really nice large wet room. Somewhere to sit yourself down whilst you get yourself dried. And a very nice cubicle here for shower. With a push button and a lovely wet room drain. And absolutely immaculate. Little mirror to make sure you're still beautiful. No, that one's broken. It's showing some old bloke with no hair and a grey beard. Okay. Right, we'll go and see if we can find a better one. But yeah. Well, I'm stood at the back of the van because once more it is blowing an absolute hoolie. Beautiful blue skies, fluffy clouds, all that stuff, but by heck, it'll blow the cobwebs away. We're at Touts Park, or Toots Park, Toots Quarry. Several acres of what used to be a quarry that now got a sculpture trail. Well, now I'm bothered looking at the map. We're actually going in the right path, you know, the one that's got a big sign that says Sculpture Park this way. Ah, okay. Is that number 1 down there?
Yeah.
Right. So let's go and find number 1. Oh, that's quite good. Let's see if we can get closer for you. I have no idea what these are meant to be. There's something there that used to be something, or was going to be something. Not quite sure what it was going to be, or is going to be. Oh, it was, I think. And around here, we've got, I would guess, the start of a mammoth. Or something. Actually, it might be an octopus, to be fair.
Yeah.
Got the big bulby thing at the back, so I think that's some kind of octopus. Yeah, okay. And then we've got something that I'm not quite sure about. I don't think they were either. There's a hat. Oh, with hands holding it, look at that. It's actually hands holding the hat. That's neat. And then, I have no idea what these are. I dare say there's a guide somewhere that we haven't looked up. There's something that was going to be a bird at some point in its career. And, oh, a person with long flowing hair, or possibly a headdress. Oh, I'm great at this, aren't I? The Roy dog. It looks like a vicious brute. Oh, here we go. An old Portland tale which used to live at Cave Hole at Portland Bill. People say he has one red eye and one green eye. Well, he does look, yeah, there's one red and one green. Cool. And known to hunt smugglers, oh dear, and fishermen that passed his cave. If you look closely, you can see the eyes of his victims weaved into his fur. Oh, that sounds really... Oh yeah, absolutely, yeah, if you look closely you can. Well, that's attractive, isn't it? The Roy dog. Now you know. We're rather hoping that this takes us down to see some more, because we do know there's more stuff down here. It's even windy down here, for crying out loud. Well, that's rather intricate. That would have taken more than 10 minutes, wouldn't it? Let's swing it down without breaking my legs. Well, as ever, I have no idea what it is, but there is one. And if you want one, they've got one here. Buy a collect. Knock me up one of those, lads. Have it on my Tuesday. Here we're at East Fleet, second night here. The weather's broken, I think is the meteorological term. We'll try and fix it. A little bit of drizzle this morning. The wind's not so windy. Just had a lovely shower. Turned myself into a fresh, clean, shiny human being. Look at that, it's very nice, isn't it? Yeah. Going to try and get to Durdle Door today. We'll see how that goes. It's, I think, National Trust, who I loathe with a total passion. But, okay, let's see what happens. The bed was interesting last night. It decided to have a mild collapse. That's a bit extreme. The slats moved apart, so I end up sleeping what can best be called a hammock. But we fixed that. The shop here at East Fleet is absolutely marvellous. I've seen worse stocked caravan shops, but they had what we needed, and we now have a repaired bed. Well, an interesting kind of day so far. We were going to go to Durdle Door, Lalham Cove, until we saw parking was £10 an hour or 30 quid all day. Screw you. That is extracting the urine big style. £10 an hour. Sod right off. So we thought we'd go to the lost village of Tyneham, which is a challenge in its own right. We didn't get blown up in the tank ranges, but as we were sort of nearing it, my beloved pointed out it's actually closed until the 5th and 6th. How you close a lost village is beyond me. Anyhow, we're now at this place known as Woodhenge. Now, I'm not going to try and get the place name right. I'm going to go over to the signpost and read it, because we're here. There's a bit of a local story. The pub landlord had to chop a tree down and then decided to build a wooden version of Stonehenge, and funny enough called it Woodhenge. And the council got fed up with that and didn't like it and said, "Don't think so, mate." And then the locals got together and said, "Yes, we do think so." And it's now quite a tourist attraction. And in the car park, which is £3 all day, I wish to point out, with lovely clean toilets, which I accidentally just went to the ladies of. I identify as a confused person. And it's a cracking place. There's got to be about 40 or 50 cars here and still space to wander around. So I'm going to go find the informative panel and tell you all about it. Oh, and it isn't bad camera, but it's that windy, even the Steadicam's giving up the ghost. There we go. It is indeed a Woodhenge. Oh, how do we get to it then, or is it just we look over the field boundary? We're not allowed to go and lick it? Okay. Oh, that would have taken some doing, you know. It's just like, pop a few logs up there, lads. I mean, quite frankly, I admire the bloke. Yeah, that's been one hell of a big tree, or it's several trees. Well, there we go. We have stopped off at Swanage, who seem very welcoming at £2.70 for parking. I think this video is going to be called Steve's Parking Rant. Anyhow, we've come here because there's a famous mural. The old cafe, which is now out of use, has been for some years, They commissioned a couple of local artists to do some artwork on it. There's the toasted cheese sandwich saying hello. And we thought we'd have a look. Apparently it's really, really good. They've done it so it does actually look like you're going to the cafe, and you can actually see inside. So we're going to have a look, and we're suckers for beer anyhow. Unless I'm much mistaken, that's Old Harry's Rock over there in the distance, and some chalk cliffs, and there is Swanage. Well, that was a bit weird. The lady at the end of the pier had no idea the murals even existed. But we've come across this little private tramway here. The water's a little bit lively, as you can see. And Sal seems to think she's found it. Time will tell. Well, there's disappointment. I've asked a couple of locals and a couple of non-locals. Sal's asked somebody who seems to think it's literally where I've just walked past. And clearly not. Okay. So, in the grand scheme of things, I think we're blowing out. It's a bit disappointing because that's literally what we came here to see. Well, we're seeing Old Harry's Rocks, I suppose. I think we're now just going to give up. Call the day a visit to Woodhenge, and go find the next campsite. What a weird old day. It would appear that when they said it's being refurbed and done up, it's been refurbed and done up, and this was it. Is it, whatever else you want to call it. So, yeah, the tourist board wants a bit of an update, because it ain't not here anymore. Well, I suppose it's better to have shops here than dereliction, but to be fair, pretty disappointed. Oh well, onwards. We have arrived at Sethorns in the New Forest, and very lovely it is. Possibly the most remote site we've ever used, other than Wilding in the middle of Scotland. And the guy, very laid back, he says, just anywhere you like on any of these blue ones here, so long as there's not already a cone on it saying reserved. And it's an absolutely glorious spot. You need to have your own toilet, and they will come and check. There's no facilities on site as far as showers or toilets go, but there's water and CDP and electric, and that's all we're going to need for the next couple of days. But the birdies are singing, very clouded. I don't know if we're going to get stars tonight, but yeah, gorgeous place. Good end to a weird day, but let's show you around. Sun's come out, birds are singing. We've just seen deer droppings on the floor, and we're going to go and visit the nearest civilization, which is called Burley. And Burley is famous for a witch. Some woman in the 50s just decided she was a witch, went everywhere in a black cloak with a jackdaw on her shoulder. I mean, why wouldn't you? And then she emigrated to America, but they've kind of made that their thing. Very interesting shop that we saw on the way down. We're going to stop and have a look at that. But Burley it is, back here tonight, and then trundle home tomorrow sometime. Check 2. Well, that's it then. We have our ticket, which you have to write on your own details, and we'll go put that in the vehicle and go and explore this strange little town. We're in a deer park apparently. Came over a cattle grid to get here, and parked under an almighty oak tree. That is one big tree. So we're parked just in the shade of it a little bit. I'll turn round, but that is a monster tree. That is a big tree in front of me there. If I go around that way, hopefully you'll see behind me, that goes up a bloody long way. Anyhow, let's go explore Burley. Here's a sign you don't see very often. A pony-proof litter bin. It's got a very Glastonbury feel to it here. Currently outside a shop called Away with the Fairies. There's a couple of other similar type shops here. And the traffic's a bit weird. There's nothing, then all of a sudden it's like a motorway. Oh, what a cute little place. It is a pretty weird place. It seems to have made its entire being centred about this nutty woman from what is now about 70 years ago. There's an old place here. Fancy a bijou cottage, that one's for sale. And the shop over here with the two people stood outside, well, it's not really a shop even. It's just got a couple of old tractors and a Land Rover in it and just says closed. But there's nothing that indicates what it does do, even if it were open. Sal's perfectly happy. She's found a free book place and has come with a book. Just looking here, I'm going to swap sides here. Building in front of us, really strange building technique. Never seen it before. It's kind of half timbered, half bricked. Try not to get one over. Well, we are at the Covenor Witches, and just before we can go in, rather liking that for a piece of artwork. Interestingly, the sign says Covenor Witches 1799, and the nutty one, wants a better description, wasn't famous until the 1950s something or another. Now, I quite like their sign. What a strange little place Burley is. It seems to be like a miniature Glastonbury. Hello, Hoss. It's a camera. Yes, you can say hello if you want to. No, licking. It's not that good. It's not that flavoursome. Nothing edible, I'm afraid. No eating the camera. Hello, other Hoss. Just letting you know we're here. No need to get excited. Just stood there doing Hoss things. Here we have the well-known thing, the scrounging Hoss. The please make a fuss of me Hoss. Yes. The I've got a new friend Hoss. We noticed, just to turn the camera, a lot of horses here have got these sort of reflective collars on, which isn't a bad idea. Anyhow, the weather is absolutely gorgeous. Blue clouds and fluffy skies. So we're going to get back to the site, put the awning out possibly, get the chairs out, chill out and do nothing for the rest of the day. Sounds ideal. Strange thing about Sethorns is unless you put out some kind of marker, as some people have, if you go away for the day, as we did, when you come back, there's no guarantee you're going to be in the same place you were when you left, which to us, to be fair, not a problem. It just means we've actually got a different location tonight. Actually, a much better view of the sky. Whether I stay up later to get star photos is a different matter entirely. Good morning from Sethorns. What a glorious night we had here. Sky were very clear. Good grief. Sky was very clear. It's lovely stars and moon out. Didn't stay up till midnight to get photos. Don't know. I really want the Milky Way and it's not the right time of year. Anyhow, fabulous. Wildlife, we've seen a squirrel, several pigeons, a blackbird, and I think that's it. Anyhow, it's a glorious place. Would we come here again? Yes, if we were down this part of the world, we would. Are we going to come down this part of the world again? Probably not. We've got the rest of the UK to explore. So off to Lymington, I believe. Have a look at the glories of Lymington, and then we're going to start making our way back home, which is about 4 and 4.5 hours. 4 and 4 and a half hours time we took around at a steady little speed. we have found Lymington. Just seen the ferry, one of the ferries, there's two here at the moment. A fudge shop. And apparently famous for cobbled streets. Oh yes, I would say that's cobbled streets. Very busy. The usual range of touristy tack shops. It's quite picturesque. We've come out to the seaside a bit, and I've just walked across here. It says car entry. Now I reckon I'm pretty good with a car. In fact, pretty good with most things with wheels. But I'll tell you what, that's one hell of a challenge, isn't it? Anyhow, here we are. The upper part of town. Clearly very touristy, but why not? There's nothing else to do around here. We're on the hunt for a bank and something to eat before we set off. We like Lymington, it's very nice. Parking's not unreasonable. The little street is gorgeous. We've seen several pasty shops, but I've chosen the one I'm going to. And we'll go back to the van, have a bite to eat, and trundle off home. But I've just met a very interesting dog. I'll tell you the story now, I'll put the photo up. This dog has been trained to recognise the guy's heartbeat going irregular and ultimately so slow it stops. And it then pounces on him, jumps on his chest in an attempt to kind of restart the heart. Which is called a precardial thump if you want it in medical terms. And if that doesn't work, the dog goes and pounces on an alarm button, which raises the alarm to various people, I dare say, and then we'll also go and prod his missus. And it is only the second one in the country apparently, and the dog actually gets a wage. It's a working dog, it gets paid a wage, and it gets to retire at 10 years old. What a fantastic thing. Apparently it cost $120,000 a year to provide round-the-clock care for this bloke. Well, they train a dog. There's a very hopeful black-capped gull, I'm going to call a black-capped gull, who knows there's another pasty in the bag beside us. But in the meantime, White Sky of the White Link is about to trundle off across the Solent to the Isle of Wight. We've just come across the Lymington Sea Water Baths, dating back to 1833. Historically gained national interest for their health-giving waters and natural mud minerals. Sounds attractive. First records of bathing in this district date from the late 18th century. And at this time, most people bathed in seawater for its health-giving qualities. Mrs. Beeston's baths offered a warm bath for 3 and 6pence, a shower for 2 and 6pence, or a cold bath, good grief, with a guide of 1 shilling, without a guide, 6pence. The guide was a man who held you up with a rope. Oh, okay, that sounds attractive. Yeah, okay, current baths go to can't read that, sunshine in my eyes, 1833, when the Lymington Bath Improvement Company was set up. A bathhouse was built shortly afterwards, now the clubhouse for the Lymington Town Sailing Club. As time went on, the baths struggled to compete with others in the area, particularly at Bournemouth. In 1855, they were sold to George Inman, who owned a boat building company further up the river. In 1886, the Lymington Sea Baths Company leased the baths from Inman. They continued under several different owners until 1929 when they were taken over by the Leamington Corporation. Woohoo! The 1930s, something of a golden period for outdoors baths and gliders, with people flocking to bathe on bank holidays in the summer. Today the baths are owned by Leamington and Pennington Town Council and run as a joint venture with Links Sports Management Limited. And it's a bloody big thing. Over here they've got inflatable obstacle courses, they've got spaces for doing stand-up paddle boarding, spaces for doing lane swimming, and it is actually, you can actually see pebbles and so on. I don't know about the reflection, you can see pebbles and seashell at the bottom. Oh, now they keep it topped up. Oh well, out for time in the car park, time to set off.